I used to think that if I could just get one video to go viral, all my creator problems would be solved. But after years of creating content online, I learned that it's these tiny changes I made to my YouTube videos that really made them pick up speed and actually grow my YouTube channel. I'm a mom in her 30s and I grew this whole business with a baby on my hip. I never had dreams of becoming famous. I just wanted to be able to not work a 9 to 5 so that I can be more flexible around my kids. So I want to share with you the steps I would take if I started my YouTube channel today and I wanted this to be my full-time thing. Because content creation can sometimes be hard and it can be sometimes a lonely journey, but it doesn't have to be, and I think that's why you're here. Part 1, the struggles. I think there are 3 main struggles when we get started as YouTubers, and you might have experienced one or all of these. Let me know in the comments if that's the case. The first struggle that we have as YouTubers is the fear of being cringe. I was a lot more of a people pleaser and just worried a lot about what people thought about me, which is why in the beginning I didn't tell anyone I had a YouTube channel. My husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, was the only one who knew, and he actually helped me with the tech side of my blog and things like that in the beginning as well. But we often have this fear of judgment of what people will think if they find out, like my friends or family. In time, as your channel grows, people might find it, and I know that can be a terrifying thought when you're just getting started, because you will be cringe and they'll think this or that of you. But what happened when they found out was nothing. Most people just thought it was a cool thing to do or a brave thing to do, or at least that's what they say to your face. But who cares what they actually think? Because I think when you're starting a YouTube channel or you're starting a content creation business, you usually have a bigger goal behind it, right? It's not just about making videos. You want something from it. You want maybe to quit your 9 to 5, or maybe you want to have more time with your kids, or just be more flexible so that you can, live a life that you really enjoy and work on something that you're passionate about. And I think those whys have to be bigger than the fear of judgment or the fear of being cringe. And the thing is, people will think this is cringe, or putting videos out online can be cringe, only until you start making money from it. And it's a hard fear to go through, but I think you can only come out the other side by doing the thing, even if you have this fear. Like, it's just about doing it even if you're scared. The second struggle that we all have when we get started, and this is something I battled with for years, just kind of back and forth, and that's not having a niche. And it was such a long time where I felt like I didn't have a niche, I wasn't specific enough, or maybe I just needed to narrow down my niche even more. I used to brainstorm a lot and try to think of what my perfect niche might be. And then I realized that actually my niche kind of evolved over time. It wasn't this one day I woke up and I said, okay, this is my niche. This is what I'm posting, that's it. And then my channel grew. No, it was actually me posting a whole bunch of things until I realized, no, this is actually what's performing well. So this is what my audience wants to see. And then that kind of like trickled me down this niche. And for me, on my main YouTube channel, that's my decluttering journey. That's kind of what snowballed this whole thing. That's what's become my niche on my Instagram as well. But in the beginning, I posted a lot of things about motherhood, about cleaning, about random different things on my YouTube channel until this one thing started to stick. And then I just kind of niched down on that and kind of doubled down on the thing that I noticed was working. So sometimes it's just about putting out a whole bunch of different content and seeing what people really enjoy from you. Of course, you can do research and look at what's performing well out there for other people. And I think when you are putting videos out there, it is important to put videos out on topics that you actually like talking about. So topics you're actually passionate about, because if you put out a video on your YouTube channel and it gets 500,000 views, then people who subscribed to you because of that video are gonna want more of that. That's why they followed you. So if all of a sudden you just post a lot of other random things, that it's probably not gonna get you to a good place with your channel. It's not gonna grow that really engaged community that you need to have behind a channel that's successful. But if you're just starting out and you have no idea what your niche is, don't stress about it. Just start posting, because I think that's gonna get you a lot further than trying to overthink that perfect niche. And can I tell you how many times I've spent just sitting down and trying to figure out that perfect one line, one sentence thing to put in my bio, and then I realized it doesn't matter. And the next struggle that a lot of us have is being discouraged by low views. When you start your YouTube channel, and even now on this channel that you're watching on, this is a newer channel that I'm just growing right now, you can get low views for quite a while because it's just about getting good at a new skill that you might not have yet. And growing a YouTube channel actually requires a lot of skills. You need to script your video and film it and edit it and learn all of these different things that probably don't come naturally to you. They didn't to me. And feeling confident on camera and, you know, just crafting that story or that script that's gonna keep people engaged to watch the video. Those are all skills that come in time, and they come through us repeating the process over and over again. So what I would focus, if I would just start right now, is not so much on the view count, but just on improving my videos and making sure they're really valuable to people and, you know, putting in the reps. So just creating more and then getting 1% better. So that's my goal, to always try to improve my videos, make them a little bit better each week or each month. And I'm constantly trying to learn new things on how to achieve that. So sometimes it might be working on my audio quality or working on, you know, cinematography skills or filmmaking, trying to come up with a good storyline for my videos. All of these things help, but I think you can't do all of them at once. It just needs to be small improvements. Unless you have a huge team behind you who does part of that for you, then it's just about making those small improvements, and that can take time. Oh, and by the way, I have a free YouTube growth checklist that I think you might find helpful. That's going to be linked in the description box of this video. Now, for the second part of your YouTube journey, I think if you want to get more views on your YouTube videos, there are 3 things that matter. The TTI, and that's title, thumbnail, and intro. And you might think, well, that's just the packaging of the video, isn't it? Yes, that's right. Because just as we go in a shop and we get attracted by this beautiful packaging on a product, that's kind of the same for YouTube. And sometimes we can put so much time and effort into creating this YouTube video and scripting it and filming the whole thing and editing it. And of course, that's part of the process and we have to do that. But these 3 things actually make a huge difference in how many views the video will get. Of course, the topic itself of the video matters, but the packaging actually is so important. So for me, once I learned how to optimize my titles, how to make them searchable or, you know, make them intriguing so that people want to click, and how to make my thumbnails a lot better, because my thumbnails in the past were not that great. And I personally feel like I've improved a lot, and I think that's why my videos are getting a lot more views as well. And the third thing in this rule is the intro, which is the first like 30 seconds of your video. And I think if you can improve that and make sure people know what the video is about, but very succinctly. I used to always start my videos in the past with, oh, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And most people who stumbled on that video maybe weren't back to my channel, they were seeing me for the first time. And so I think that was such an unnecessary thing to start my videos with. So now I start my videos with sharing them, like the before and after of the transformation I'm gonna share with them in the video. So, you know, what I used to struggle with, what I've achieved, and how I got there. If you look at my decluttering videos, if you look at these videos on this channel, that's pretty much what I share in the intro, because people want to see what is it in this video that's going to be helpful for them. And if you can nail those 3 things, I think you will be able to see an improvement in your views and your subscribers as well. The next part to our YouTube journey is the creator flow. So, you know, we're here on YouTube to create content, but that doesn't just happen magically, and it takes a lot of time and effort. And I am a mom of 2 little ones, and I grew my entire business with pretty much a baby on my hip. I worked during baby nap times or after they went to bed at night, and so I didn't have a lot of time on my hands. So I had to create a system that really worked with limited time in my day. And the only way to do this is to create a system that's reliable for you and create a plan for the week. What I use right now is Notion. There are so many different time management, you know, apps you can use or platforms. Notion is the one that worked really great for me because it has a lot of different features, like using a calendar mode or using a table mode or a list mode, and just customizing it to my needs. So I find that it works really well. This is not sponsored by them, by the way. So in Notion, I create my weekly plan of exactly what I'm going to do each day, because if I don't, I find that I'm more likely to procrastinate. I'm not going to get as much done. Or when my kids go to school and it's like, okay, this is my time to work, I will sit down on my laptop, and then if I have a blank page in front of me and I don't know what I'm working on that day, then it's just going to be stressful. I'm not going to do much because I'm just kind of scrambling, trying to figure out what I'm doing for that day. But if I open my weekly calendar and I see, okay, today I'm filming 2 videos, tomorrow I'm editing them, and the next day I'm posting on Instagram, then it's such a clear plan that's so much easier to follow. And right now my schedule is that I post one YouTube video per week on my main channel, so that goes live every Saturday, and that is my main priority that I focus on. I also post on Instagram, I also post here on this channel, but the other YouTube channel is my main priority. And I do think having one thing that you're really focusing on can be really, really helpful. And I learned this from the book The One Thing, which really opened my eye to how important it is to really focus your efforts into one thing if you want that one thing to grow the most, instead of splitting our attention to a million different things that we could be doing as content creators. Let me know if you would like to see a video more in depth into kind of how I plan my week. I will usually try to make sure one day I will script my videos, one day I will film them, one day I will edit or maybe send to my editor who edits some of my videos. I have one day where I come up with ideas for YouTube videos, for like future ones, and then I have a day where I'm, posting the video and scheduling an email newsletter that will lead people from my email list to my YouTube channel. And that's kind of my workflow for a week for my YouTube channel. That's really helped me stay consistent. Like throughout the past year or two, I have posted almost every single Saturday, with a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, I try to stick to it and make sure I am consistent every Saturday and people know to expect it. And I think that really helps grow your viewership as well. When it comes to gear, I really don't think it's important to have, the most professional gear out there. And when I started, I definitely did not. I'll give you kind of a quick rundown of the products that I do use, but you don't have to start big. And this is something I kind of invested in throughout the years. As my YouTube channel grew and it made more money, I took that and invested some of it in gear to improve the quality of my YouTube videos. But that's not something you need to do in the beginning. If you want the full gear list, it will be linked in the description box. Maybe one thing that I would get first of all is a good microphone. This is the DJI Mic Mini and it's really great. It's not that expensive. And then the next part of your YouTube journey is going to be to monetize, which I think is why a lot of us are here, because I think a lot of us YouTubers do this out of passion and we love making videos. And I think that's one of the things I love the most about this community. But we also want to make money from it because it's a huge time we're sinking into this. And I know for me, I would not be able to do this full time and create this many videos if I couldn't make an income from it, because I would just have to go to a normal 9-to-5 job in order to support my family. And I'm aware this is such a privileged position to make a full-time income from this while I'm at home, and I don't take this for granted. But I do think monetizing and kind of learning the ways you can monetize your channel can be super helpful here as well. And you probably know some of them, like YouTube AdSense. I think it's really great if you can sign up for YouTube AdSense as soon as you're eligible. In the beginning, when you're just getting a few 100 views here and there, it's not going to be huge amounts of money, but as your YouTube channel grows, it will add up. And for example, on my main channel, I think I get about $1,500, maybe $2,000 every month from just YouTube AdSense, which it's not a full-time income in itself, but it's a really nice add-on to my monthly income. Brand deals is usually the biggest slice of the pie from the income chart for most creators. And I think when you are quite small, the way you can get started with brand deals is doing UGC, so that's user generated content. And that means you create content for brands, but they use it on their platforms, in their advertising and marketing, but you don't have to post it on your YouTube channel. So it's more like creating assets for them and not necessarily using your influence or your audience when you don't really have a big audience yet. So that can be a good way to get started and pitching yourself to brands that way. But later down the line, once you get bigger, brands will usually come to you, and most of the brand deals that I get do come to me like in my emails. There's also digital products that I highly recommend as well. It's also one of my favorite ways to make money because it is, I don't want to say it's fully like passive income that you don't have to work for. It's still a lot of effort to put into to create that product, to create the funnel behind it, to make sure you drive traffic to that funnel, to make sure you get sales. It is work, and there's also the customer service. So once someone signs into your product, maybe they need more help, or maybe you have a community that you manage behind it. And so I don't think a digital product can be fully passive, but it can require less effort from you. You create that product and then you can sell it on repeat without putting in the same amount of initial effort. So for myself, I have taken anything that I kind of have expertise on, anything that I've, learned a lot from, that I've experimented with myself, anything like that I've put into course courses and digital products like ebooks that I sell to kind of increase my income and also to really help my audience, because I think sometimes when you watch a YouTube video, but it's not the same as going in depth into all the things that a course can cover. And also there's this community behind where I can really help people on a deeper level. And I think that's what makes digital products that much more helpful than just watching a YouTube video. So if you can include digital products into your monetizing strategy, that can be a really good way to increase your income, provide more value, and just create a whole business behind your channel. And of course, there's also affiliate income, which for myself, it's not a big part of my strategy, but I just kind of see it as the cherry on top. So I do make money from affiliates. Like I'll have different products that I share, like different services, like Flowdesk, my email provider, or ManyChat, the thing I use to automate DMs on Instagram. I have gear that I mentioned, or on my main channel, I will have different products. But yeah, that's not the main part of my income, but your strategy might be different depending on the type of content that you create. How many YouTube subscribers do you have at the moment? Let me know in the comments. Let me know where you're at in your journey. I would really love to help you out, because this is why I created this YouTube channel. Let me know what you would find helpful. Any struggles you have right now, let me know, and maybe I'll make a video on it. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in my next video.